Good morning, dear students. Now today we are going to learn chapter number 7, soils. Learning objectives. What is soil? Factor necessary for soil formation, parent rock, regional climate, biotic material. Now what is soil? The uppermost layer of the earth is known as soil. This layer consists of sand, mud and rock particles. So, while answering the questions above, you must have gathered some information about soil and realized some of its characteristics. So let us consider the soil in more detail. The parent rock, the climate of the region, the biotic material, the slope of the land. Now some factors necessary for soil formation. So the first factors necessary for soil formations are the parent rock, the climate of the region, the biotic material, the slope of the region and time. Okay, now in this way soil formation process, organisms, topography, climate. What is weathering? Weathering is the breaking down or dissolving of rocks and minerals on Earth's surface. Water, acids, salt, plants, animals and changes in temperature are all agents of weathering. So in this way the weathering process. Now next, parent rock. Now parent rock refers to the original rock from which something else was formed. Parent rock in a region is an important factor in soil formation. Depending on the hardness of the rock and the climate of the region, the rock gets weathered. So remember that the parent rock in a region is an important factor in soil formation. Depending on the hardness of the rock and the climate of the region, the rock gets weathered. The rock turns into powdery material, which further turns into earthy material. For example, the basalt rock of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra turns into black soil after weathering. This soil is known as Regur soil. Rocks like granite, igneous in South India give rise to red soil. Okay. Now next, regional climate. Next, factors necessary for soil formation, regional climate. So this is also an important factor influencing soil formation. The process of weathering depends on the climate of the region. The climate decides the intensity of weathering. That is why one and the same type of rock gives rise to different types of soils when the rock is exposed to different climates. Okay, now weathering of the rock is the first step in the process of soil formation. The process of weathering depends on the climate of the region, and the climate decides the intensity of weathering. Okay. So in the dry climate of Deccan Plateau, weathering of basalt leads to the formation of black soil, whereas in the humid climate of the western Sahyadris, the leaching of the same basalt rock leads to the formation of laterite soil. So that is the process of weathering depends on climate of the region. Okay, so next factors, biotic material. Now the weathering of the rocks turns them, them into powdery material, but this powdery material is not a soil. So the biotic material comes from the decomposition of the remains of the plants and animals in that region. The vegetal litters, roots of plants, remains of animals, etc. get decomposed due to water, microorganisms, and certain